Dude, Luke, the printer's still busted, man. What the fuck?
Which part of the dress code do you understand?
So I'm like not getting my girlfriend's Snapchats. Are you working on something?
What the fuck does that mean?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 62 of the Topless Robot podcast. My name is Ryan.
I'm Tyler, and I'm back, bitches.
My name is Big Bad Brooks, and fucking up motherfuckers is what I do.
Okay, goddamn, someone is ready to fucking chew bubblegum.
My name is Dan, and I hate greedy litigants.
Yeah.
Yes. So, a lot has happened this week.
It's been a good week. There's a lot of things happening.
A decent week. I need to start with one specific thing.
Let's do it.
There are two really huge things that are fresh on my mind, but I've got to start with Stadia.
Oh, I thought it was Baby and Yoda, but Stadia's important too, I guess.
Mandalorian is fucking awesome.
Fantastic.
And
No spoilers yet,
there's
please.
no avoiding
Everyone on the
Baby
internet
Yoda.
has seen
can't
Baby
avoid
Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
But Stadia launched on Tuesday, and there are a number of ways in which that launch was a shit show. It was definitely fueled by people overreacting to things and stuff like that. And I actually recorded a video last night that I'll probably put up sometime this week.
Oh, hell yeah.
But so I pre-ordered on day one. June 6th is when pre-orders opened. I pre-ordered at noon on June 6th. And so the service launched at 10 a.m. our time on Tuesday. And I was watching the subreddit and had joined the Discord and was just kind of, just to see what the community was buzzing about and sort of read up. They had done an AMA in the Reddit, the subreddit and shit like that. So I was just kind of reading up and getting myself psyched for launch. And I hadn't even thought about it up to that point, honestly. Like until this week, and so, I saw it posted somewhere. Stadia releases this week. I wasn't even thinking about it. But I'll tell you what, the day before launch, all of a sudden I got super into it, and I was fucking stoked.
Wow.
So people start posting that they've I'm expecting 10 o'clock in the morning release date. The expectation that they set is if your hardware has been shipped, you will receive a code in your email once your hardware has been shipped. And that you can use that code in order to sign in and reserve your name. So part of the benefits of pre-ordering the Founders Edition specifically is you get a unique username. Otherwise, they appear to be handling usernames similarly to the way Discord does, where many people can have the same username, or the way Battle.net does.
It's like a code, but you can rename yourself.
Many people can have the same username, but there's a number after it.
Oh, okay.
So like in Discord, I'm the Dragon 0001 because I pay for Discord Nitro, and in Discord when you pay for it, they let you set your number to whatever you want. So,
unless another Nitro user already has it, and then you can't take that one.
I expect that's
Because
probably
you can
the
boot
case.
non-Nitro users, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm not. I imagine so. I'm not really sure.
Fully.
Not like I've ever run into it or anything like that.
He's the one dragon to rule them all.
The bourgeoisie will fall.
So, with the Founder Edition, you reserve your username and no one else can have it. And so
Does it also give you the
Poop
opportunity
loser 69420.
Does it also give you the opportunity to send like taunting messages to people who try to sign up for that? Like,
Dude, that'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
I already got that one.
So for a lot of people, it was they were buying into securing their username. And
The real Donald Trump.
he needs to reach the youth. So I had done basically, I'm watching the subreddit.
Yeah.
10 o'clock in the morning rolls around. I don't have an email with a code. My hardware has been shipped, but I don't have a code. So I'm like, what's going on? And I start digging through the subreddit. And other people are saying kind of the same thing. And an hour passes, and people start posting more shitposty, stuff about, oh, fuck Stadia. They said this and this and this and this. Because expectations weren't properly set for the way that they were going to launch this.
Yeah.
They did a staggered release of codes. That would have been fine, first off, if they had communicated it. But secondly, if it had actually gone according to plan, because we started seeing, us day one orderers started seeing people who ordered in September saying, hey, got my code. And we're like,
Ooh, that's whack.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So,
Bullshit.
in the Discord, it took them too long to acknowledge it. Around 2:00 in the afternoon, they posted, hey, we noticed that there's this problem going on. Please bear with us. It's going to take some time to figure out, what's going on. At this point, I still don't have my code. So that's 4 hours after their
After
launch
day
time,
one.
on
Yeah.
day one, where I ordered day one. So, people are contacting Google support, and of course, those with the loudest voices end up kind of fueling the fire. And, instead of waiting for official word from any of these official channels, because obviously it's not something that's only impacting these people, it's impacting the whole community. So the most reliable information is going to be coming from the Stadia Twitter or on the Discord through these official channels. Contacting Google support isn't going to fucking help you. They don't care. They don't know.
Google support, I work with Google on a daily basis. It's a fucking oxymoron.
Yeah.
Emphasis on moron. I'm not even kidding. I am on call with Google support once a week at least. No one has any. They outsource it.
Like
Unfortunately,
navigating
it's
a
all
level.
they outsource it to India. I'm not trying to put that out with. Like, it's not racist at all. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But they have no fucking clue what's going on.
Right,
at
because
all.
they're not part of the official chain or anything like that. They're an outsourced call center. And so the people are contacting support, and support is saying it will take 3 days to 3 weeks to fix.
Yeah, they're giving you a script response.
And people, obviously the community is going insane, going, 3 weeks? 3 weeks? And at this point, I have to chime in. I'm like, look, that's called setting expectations. They know that if they say 3 days and it takes 4, outrage, absolute outrage.
Yep.
If you overestimate, you're setting expectations in order to manage your rage.
It will be 3 hours to the rest of your life. Oh, well, that sounds pretty reasonable.
Yeah, right.
That's a window, I
It will
guess.
happen in the future.
It reminds me of when Brent and I, when we were kids, we used to crank call Nintendo. Like, the stupidest fucking shit. And now I am being punished for that. Yeah, we can't find the power button on our Nintendo, our fucking Game Boy Advance. Like dumb shit like that. It's like,
Can I talk to my dad? He works at Nintendo.
my friend's uncle works there.
Do you guys sell cigarettes? I'm looking for my dad.
He told me that Smash 2 is gonna have Pikachu, but it's also a robot.
So, a few hours later, they do a follow-up and they say, we have noticed that a problem in the automated system occurred where some people were being sent codes out of order. We've fixed that problem, and it is now going to continue sending out codes in the order that your order was received. So if they had set expectations for a staggered launch in the first place, I don't think anyone would have been upset.
Yeah.
If they were like, look, in order to manage the load on our hardware, we're going to have to do these in batches. And if they were transparent about that process, it would have done a lot to prevent a lot of the outrage that was going on.
Billion-dollar company being transparent.
Fool. So
Possible.
the by the next day, I think it was the next day. So I got my code around 4:00 in the afternoon. By the next day, they said that they had gotten through all of the day one orders. So only the people who ordered on day one had received their codes. But what sucks is they've done nothing to fix the issue of like people who did get to kind of cut in line, people who ordered in July and September who got their codes before other people who ordered on day one, which led to some people not being able to get their usernames because they were snagged up either vindictively or by chance by someone later on down the line. So there's no real fixing that, which kind of sucks for those people.
That's some bull.
Especially when you specifically
Paid good money
pre-ordered
very
it
early on.
to be that first person to get that.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted to do. Like, that's messed up.
So meanwhile, while this whole shit show is going on, the official Stadia Twitter misspoke in response to someone. So Stadia has a pro subscription, and that pro subscription operates very similarly to PlayStation Plus. You spend $10 a month. Each month, you're going to get a pro game for free.
Yeah.
And you get access to pro discounts. So the way that pro also gives you, it's the only way that you can do 4K 60 frames per second HDR streaming.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's all 1080p. So on the eventual free plan, which they're launching in February, everything is going to be 1080p. But with the pro plan, you get, all these bonuses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So similarly to PlayStation Plus, when that pro plan lapses, you no longer have access to the games you got for free during that pro period. While you were on pro. But if you claimed them when they got up, if you re-up your pro plan, you regain access to all the previous games that you had claimed when you previously had a pro plan.
Okay.
Operates exactly the same way PlayStation Plus does.
Right.
We need a big flow chart right here.
Yeah, right. So,
if then.
yeah.
If you have a pro plan subscription, but are over the age of 21 and are allergic to peanuts,
So
It's a Charlie meme.
someone in Italy asked about, how that would work. Hey, will I gain access to, or will I lose access to games that I got, for free during my pro subscription, whatever.
yeah.
And an Italian Google representative responded on the official Google Stadia. Any games that you got for free or at a discount will no longer be available to you if you let your pro subscription lapse.
And that's not true.
That's
So
some bull.
everyone lost their minds again because we're still dealing with the code problem. And then this comes out. And then on top of all of that, the review embargo was let up on release day. So we start seeing shit like the now infamous Washington Post review where there's a dude playing Destiny 2 in the office, in the Washington Post offices, and he hits space and no shit, a second passes and then his character jumps.
Yep.
And so he's sitting there like with this shit-eating, just going think, and it takes forever, suggesting that the input lag is completely unworkable. Never mind that he's on a fucking corporate office network and it's probably suffering because of that. And you should never test network-based things in a corporate environment.
But I want an Oompa Loompa now.
So then it gets revealed that Destiny 2 is not running 4K 60. It's being rendered at 1080p and upscaling to 4K at 30. I think 30. It might be 60. And Red Dead Redemption 2 is 1440p and being upscaled. And they're doing side-by-side, comparisons between Xbox One X and Stadia for Red Dead, and the Stadia version looks clearly deficient. So it's like all of these things are dropping on day one. Everyone's like, Stadia's over. Like someone took the Stadia logo, which is like a swish thing, flipped it upside down, drew it and colored it brown and put some stink lines above it. And like
course.
Stadia's new logo.
Wow, so clever.
Meanwhile,
Poop joke.
I get my hardware on launch day. I get my code at around 4:00. And it's been really fucking good. Like, it's been working extremely well. My Chromecast out here is wired. And so it's ideal, environment out here. And I'm looking at my network usage. It's not going higher than like 55 megabits a second, somewhere around there. And it's gorgeous. I've been playing like all day yesterday. I played Rage 2 like nonstop, and have experienced no slowdown. Occasionally, I've run into like some, dips or things like that here or there. But overall, my experience has been pretty great. Even on the wireless Chromecast in my bedroom, I have been able to play Destiny 2 just fine with the slowdowns that I would expect from being wireless.
Yeah.
And I think overall the problem is that Google treated this as a product launch and said that it was the official launch of Stadia, and they're treating it like a beta launch. The way it's actually executing is like a beta.
That seems
Yeah, that's
dumb.
because public betas are indistinguishable from actual releases these days.
Also,
Yeah.
Google doesn't know how to launch a goddamn service or product. They
Right.
really don't. Everything that they have ever launched is minus even Gmail. Even Gmail had issues right when it started.
I mean, Gmail was in beta for 10 years.
Yeah.
Gmail was flagged as beta for much of its life.
But they don't.
You
They
guys,
put
you guys-
it out and see if it's going to make money. If it starts to make money, then they'll start improving it and making it better. If it doesn't make money right away, then they just kill it, which is something that I've been saying from the beginning.
Are you guys talking about Gmail?
Yes.
So I think that if they had said, look, you're buying into an early beta, and set expectations for a staggered code release and things like that, then they just needed to set expectations better.
Sure.
Because we learned, after the fact that we were not going to get any of the features that they announced early on, and that eventually those features would come. But I think that's where Stadia is ultimately going to come out on top. It's not hardware that we have to buy.
Yeah.
That controller doesn't mean a fucking thing. Like, that controller doesn't matter. I could use this controller. I could use no controller at all. It's a service. So that means that they can iterate on it and they can upgrade it over time, and we won't even notice. We'll just sign in one day and be like, "Oh, cool! Where did that come from?
Look, it's a new
when
color."
did that happen?"
See,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there was going to be a free service. That was something that, that's the thing that held me back from really being excited about it at all. I thought it was always going to be paid, whatever you pay per month for the pro thing. Having to pay for pro and then also having to pay for the games themselves. It's kind of a little bit of a weird idea, but having the free service, I did not know that. That makes it a little bit more palatable. I could see myself jumping on board when that free service comes in, because
It eliminates a certain barrier of entry to get into playing some games, and maybe this is going to open up a new market.
Well, for example, Red Dead Redemption 2 is over 100 gig install on PC. Fuck that. I don't have that space because I produce all this shit. I just filled up an 8 terabyte hard drive with Topless Robot content over the past year. I don't have space, for a 100 plus gig game right now.
You made it of hard drives?
Mark this in time when 100 gigs is absolutely nothing,
Yeah, I bought this 100 gig
Aged like
flash
milk.
drive at the gas station. It was $14.
So
My favorite
that's
Christmas
Mars
movie
dollars.
is Christmas Story. Thank you, Bulldog.
Tyler was reacting to chat, which we don't do during the podcast proper because this
I
is
wanted to, I'm
supposed to
sorry.
go out in audio channels as
I'm
well.
Sorry.
Just wait for the after show.
Yeah,
Yeah, just wait for the after show so we can ignore you on our own time.
we address chat in the after show.
I felt like saying it.
And no, we will not react to your music.
Wow. All right.
That's not what this is for.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's Stadia. Cool.
Yeah.
I thought Stadi was like that artificial sweetener, that yogurt that makes you poop.
But I do think that
That's Stevena.
that you are right. I think it has a lot of like future sustainability potential.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
Instead
lot.
of having to buy another console every 10 years or whatever, and never mind that, if developers start developing for Stadia specifically, they can achieve incredible graphics because that means that everyone's working on the same goddamn server farm. Someone fired up Football Manager, and there's some setting in one of the menus that says like your hardware specs, and it's like number of processors 127.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Some managing some football, I'm gonna tell you what.
I do wonder again, and like this has been my
football.
worry from
Wrong kind of football.
from the beginning is that like again, I work with Google all the time, and they do this shit where they release these really hi cat. They release these really cool ideas, and they do this stuff half-ass, and then they give up immediately because it doesn't go as well as they were expecting, and they force all this stuff on people that people don't necessarily want, or it wasn't really well thought out because they're thinking purely from product or from hardware, software, whatever it is. And then it doesn't quite hit the way they were expecting. It doesn't make them a lot of money. And then like a year down the line, 2 years down the line, we look at Google Plus, we look at half the shit that they introduce in their search engine, and it just dies because they have infinite money and they can make these playgrounds and then also not care if those playgrounds fail.
They have already stated several times, which they haven't with any of their other products, we are in this for the long haul. We cannot back out.
They did say Google Plus was going to be the new Facebook and it was going to take over everything in social media.
That's not committing to it. That's saying we expect it to perform this way. They have committed to this to the point of they have built game studios in Google who have been working on Stadia specific games for the past over a year, I think, at this point.
Okay.
So that's investment.
That is investment.
If it's like just kind of, like Google Plus, they didn't put a lot of love and affection to really.
It was boring and unexciting.
Yeah, like they didn't really push on that. And never mind that. Here you have a lot of people who have bought into it from the start.
Very cool.
And and then on top of that, in order to carry those games, I'm willing to bet that there are some contracts involved in that as far as sustainability is concerned. Like they have to, I'm sure there have to be contracts written up that are like, we have to keep this service available and these things available to people for X number of years before we can sunset any game on a platform or anything like that. It's not uncommon. I mean,
makes sense.
it's a different type of thing than they've gone into and backed out of in the past.
That is very true. Okay.
So I think it's
With the free service, again, it makes it a little bit more palatable overall.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will watch its career with great interest.
yeah.
What's
I think
Google?
this is the way to go, man.
I do like the idea.
Yeah, and what's going to hold it back is a lot of people are not going to be able to make use of it. Even though at 1080p, it's not going to take up a ton of bandwidth. The internet infrastructure in the United States is a fucking abysmal.
Garbage.
So
That's why I'm not interested.
I
But
do
if
wonder-
had,
you could actually probably pull off 1080p on your connection.
perhaps.
The concept for me is pretty interesting. It just, well, I have a lot of catching up to do, as we all know. I am the old game person here, not because of choice, but well, I'll get around to screwing around with it. I mean, I'm sure we'll probably do some fun videos or
Yeah.
things like that.
Well, what
I
sucks
am
is we
excited.
can't capture the Chromecast. So I even bought a 4K capture card so I could capture 4K, from the Chromecast because I wanted to be able to give a side-by-side comparison of the way things are running in 4K on the Chromecast versus in browser and things like that. But Chromecast doesn't have any HDCP controls. So it just blocks outright. When you plug into a capture device, it's a black screen. There's no way to turn it off.
annoying.
Like in order to capture the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox, I have to
turn
go
it
into the
off.
settings and turn off HDCP.
Gotcha.
And then when you do that, they don't let you open any media applications because that's the whole reason HDCP exists. So
That's
Maybe
annoying.
they'll fix that.
I hope so. I've already sent feedback with regard to it, though they are saying that capturing and streaming will happen on the platform independent of anything.
Oh.
So they don't want you.
Already, you can take screenshots and you can take 30-second video captures, similarly to how you can on like the Nintendo Switch and stuff like that. But right now, there's no way to share that. It goes into the Stadia app, and you can look at it in the Stadia app. But
That's
there's
gonna be
no
something that
exporting
they
from
fix.
the
That's going to be
Stadia
something
app.
that they fix. There's no way that they don't fix
To
it.
come in the future.
That's such a useless function right now, but
Pretend-
it's got to be something that they fix down the
Absolutely,
line.
yeah.
People don't watch other people play video games.
Yeah, that's not a
Nobody
thing.
cares about that.
But the way that they were talking about, like, because they're pushing this for streamers. Oh, really?
If they're pushing it for
Tell us
streamers,
about it.
So
shouldn't they be, letting them?
Shut up.
So
Don't let them hear you, Brooks.
they're talking about like a seamless connection to YouTube with Stadia.
You
So
just
that
play
means
straight into YouTube Live. That'd be interesting.
yeah, it basically, like it would essentially the capture point would happen on Google's end as opposed to on your end. So we'll see how that all pans out. I know that they see the popularity of gaming videos and shit like that, and they're probably intending on developing a lot of features for
Yeah, you can't
for
ignore that
purpose.
shit, dude.
Yeah.
Can't ignore
can't.
that shit because that's going to make them a lot of money.
And
And
one of the-
advertisement.
It's free advertising.
And one of the big selling points was being
Free real
able to
estate.
stream it and have the ability for the people watching you to just jump in and join you in game just by clicking a button on your stream.
I could see that being super annoying.
Well, I'm sure
You can disable it.
gotta be able to have fine privacy controls and shit like that. On that.
Yeah.
Because there's no way. I mean, can you imagine someone with
people
like
just be stream
10,000
sniping.
viewers or some shit
Yeah.
like streaming something and just having that button be there?
They would just snipe constantly. That's all
Yeah.
it would
All
be.
the time.
And I know that's against the rules. I personally find stream sniping hilarious.
Dad, you should just believe in the power of goodness to the people on the internet.
No,
Because the
no.
good
You've
people on the
seen him?
internet will never do anything wrong.
Never.
When do I ever believe in the good in anything?
You believe in the good in death.
Yes.
So yeah, I plan on doing a lot of Stadia coverage in the future because it's going to be really interesting watching it grow and watching it develop.
I'm very curious to see how well Google handles this in the same way that I was curious back when Microsoft decided to get into the console game
right.
market with the first Xbox. So
Well, and now Amazon has announced that they're going to be developing something similar to Google Stadia to function on their server farms.
it's called Amazon Wadia. Or Stadia spelled backwards.
Dates.
The Amazon Gamester. This is gonna be something stupid like that, I bet.
I gotta say, in a sea of hatred and anger, you're the beacon of good here with your reaction to the Stadia launch. Everyone is so pissed right now.
Oh, yeah.
I have not seen a good review at all. IGN, Polygon, like everyone's.
I've seen plenty of
Pissed.
people saying, is it ready for prime time right now? No. Is it the future of gaming? Yes.
I've always thought that we'd see it end up going that way.
It'll go right there in the annals of video game history alongside
Right in those anals.
such memorable and legendary consoles like the Sega Dreamcast and the Atari Jaguar.
Yeah. I mean, we're already at a point where just about every game that you own is licensed.
Right.
You don't own it anyway.
Yep.
So they can be revoked from you at any time. So what's the difference if you have the hardware at your house or if it's in another building?
Yep.
Yeah. And have you considered the possibility that maybe a lot of these negative reviews were paid for?
Not really. I'm not someone who falls for the idea that everyone's
Listen,
a
man,
paid
Big
shill.
Gabe is out there, okay?
I think that the idea of paid shills is fucking stupid. And anytime that it has been proven to occur, it's been monumentally obvious and dumb. So I don't think that it's possible for them to have paid shills who are not obvious.
Oh, maybe paid comment farmers. That's a potential.
Maybe, but
in terms of like the big name reviewers on Polygon,
But thus far, they
Kotaku,
don't
IGN.
have like a direct competitor for their specific type of service. So,
Right.
who would
Plus,
do it?
Big Game can
Amazon.
make money off of this. They can still sell their games, like PlayStation, Microsoft. They can sell their games on there.
If anyone should be trying to kill this, it would be brick and mortar stores. It would be GameStop.
Yeah.
which GameStop's
Because
already.
GameStop
GameStop is
GameStop's
doomed.
already suffering due to digital distribution. This is going to be the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Unless they successfully manage to fully pivot to collectibles.
Which I'd be kind of okay with. Having a
I'd
brick
be
and
okay with
mortar
that too.
collectible store would be kind of cool if they bring stuff in. Like
I
that.
say tear it down. Let's be done with GameStop. Let it die with dignity. What
No,
little it
because
has
that
left.
means letting ThinkGeek go away too.
Yes, destroy them all.
Set all of those suffering
And the
GameStop
women and children
employees
too.
free.
And the women stop and the men stop too.
Women stop, men stop.
And then when all the GameStops go away and all of those people are fired because the company doesn't exist, they can go work at their local Walmart.
Yeah.
No, the whole work at Hot Topic. It's right next door.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Um.
Other big news. Half-Life.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I wanted
Cool
to go to.
segue,
That
cool
was the
segue.
second one that is huge.
Half-Life, not 3.
Half-Life Alyx.
1.5, right? Supposed to come in between episode 1 and 2. Isn't that what I saw?
I had heard that it was going to be a prequel
Is
to
it
the
prequel?
whole series.
Oh, prequel. I thought I read that it was in between.
So
But regardless.
yeah. No, it shows that Valve has gone full in on all in on VR.
At least they're making something.
Yeah, right. I found this announcement shocking.
Honestly,
me
I
too.
thought they were done with games completely. I
Yeah.
thought they were just going to be a publisher forever, and that was platform.
Yeah,
forever.
platform. Yeah, because they, with the success of Steam, they don't need to be
No,
making games
they're
anymore.
making so
They
much
have
money.
publicly said that they won't make Half-Life 3 specifically because there's no way that it can live up to the hype, and the internet is brutal and ruthless and would tear them apart no matter what they release.
Yep.
And
Also, they don't even have the same
need
writing team anymore. Like,
right.
Nope, they do not.
And they don't need to do that because Steam is making so much money for them.
It's actually kind of a smart idea to go do an offshoot, like do your own
Yeah.
news story, go in a different direction. I like that. That's kind of cool. The trailer was interesting, and
I think it looks great,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a proper next generation AAA VR, full length VR title. So
Maybe this is also their way of testing the waters about Half-Life, returning to the series.
seeing
too.
if it's
'Cause,
worth
like,
going again if
if
people love it.
If we got the news that it was Half-Life 3 and not Half-Life Alex, this not this VR thing, but what people have been clamoring for forever, I don't think it'd do very well because I want to say there's a lot of old people like us that have been, it's the Duke Nukem Forever of Valve games.
has it hit the Duke Nukem Forever year mark yet?
Not quite.
And
Not
the thing
quite.
with
Because
Duke
Duke
Nukem
Nukem
Forever
Forever
was
was
it was-
15 years.
Yeah. When did Half-Life 2 come out?
keep talking.
Half-Life 2 came out in 2005 or 2004.
Shit, then we are at the 15
So we're-
year mark.
2004.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, this has been 15 years.
It's Duke Nukem in age, but the thing with Duke Nukem, it was always in production. Like,
just
was
kept
it?
getting-
The rule or the rumors were always that they were making it. Duke
was Dev
Nukem
Hell.
Forever's coming.
Yeah.
But
it was in death hell for 10 years.
But it it got scrapped several times, right?
It got
Because they had to
it got
start from the
rebuilt.
ground up
It
so
got
many
rebuilt
times.
on new engines every time there was a new generation.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
going to be that side-scrolling thing for a second first, and then it was going to
But then it ended up in Gearbox's hands because it wasn't in Gearbox's hands the whole time.
No.
No. It was
And
moved to different developers. It was rechurned, remade, new engines, but it was always in development. It was never officially canceled.
because who owns that? 3D Realms?
Yeah,
Is 3D
not
Realms still
anymore.
a thing?
3D Realms is still a thing. They actually have. They actually put out a game 2 months ago
Oh,
on the old build engine by Ken
Okay.
Masters. I think I haven't bought it yet, but I was playing on it. Ion Fury, previously known in development as Ion Maiden, until
oh
Iron,
yeah. I remember you talking about
until
that.
until Iron Maiden was like, you can't use your name.
Yeah.
My name is Bruce Dickinson and I can fly a jet.
I'm so cool.
I put on my pants one leg at a time, but unlike you, I make cold records after I put them on.
I have a mobile game nobody plays.
I don't really care about Half-Life 3 at this point anymore, but I would still fuck with Team Fortress 3 or Portal 3 if those would ever come out.
Yeah, I would love another
super
Portal.
in.
I don't know how I'd feel about another Team Fortress because I know that considering in the same way that Team Fortress ultimately influenced Overwatch and the changes that they have made would in turn
right.
influence
Oh,
Team
you're
Fortress
right,
3.
and I would hate
So
that.
Team Fortress 3 would just become an Overwatch.
I would hate that so fucking
Yeah.
much.
Would you?
Dan's
Would
like,
you
I
now?
made a
Also,
mistake.
Bruce, if you're listening, I take back what I said. I still like. I feel terrible for saying anything.
He does live out
uh,
here, doesn't he?
No, that's Rob Halford.
Oh, Rob Halford, that's
Yeah,
right.
he lives in Paradise Valley.
Bruce Dickinson does not. Okay.
Bruce
Shit, though, man,
Dickinson lives in. He's a citizen of the world.
Bruce Dickinson lives on Flight 666.
I was just constantly in the
And Force
air,
One.
getting refueled by various Iron Maiden themed tanker planes.
They're all World War II fighter jets.
And they're all named after a different album.
Only when I touch the ground, it will be only to sing. or defense. Or defense. But
Yeah, man, I would still play the Portal 2 multiplayer with anybody if I hadn't already made everyone play it.
Dude, I'll play Portal 2.
I've never
I'll
played
play
it.
Portal 2.
I've never played it, Dan.
Played the,
But you have to
Are you serious?
you have
I
to have
played
never done it.
Portal
That's
2,
the
but I've
thing.
never
Because I
played
like
it
to
with
fuck with people.
I've never played Portal.
So you've never played the multiplayer Portal
Never played
2?
multiplayer. I played single player all the way through. But
There you go.
multiplayer.
I played multiplayer. I had every achievement in Portal 2 within 24 hours
Yeah, it was
of
so
its
good.
release.
so
It was
good.
fucking awesome.
Never
And the
played Portal.
ARG that they did leading up to it was fucking great, where they hid potatoes around and shit like that, and in other games. So like you had to play Bit Trip Beat, and they did like 2 special levels for the whole ARG. It was so good. It was so much fun.
Yep.
I miss it
And
when
they
it's
added radios into Portal 1 that you had to pick up and carry around with you until you got a good radio signal. And they'd have like Morse code or something that you could decode into an image. Oh my God. It was the best ARG. It was so much fun.
I've never played Portal.
I miss it when
Really,
studios.
dog, missing out.
You never played
Yeah.
any Portal?
No.
It is.
I said it actually
great.
5 times. You guys were geeking out.
I heard you.
Sorry,
I
no,
looked
I'm,
at you.
I'm having nostalgia right now, and I need to go back and play Portal 1 and 2 right now. So.
I've never played Portal.
It is one of the better games ever released.
I've-
Perfect length, great writing.
I've seen Zeke play a little bit of one of them. I do not remember.
Portal 2 was the superior Portal.
It was
Yeah,
probably
but Portal
2
1
then.
is so good still.
Sure. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
loved Portal 1.
I
played through that
remember.
multiple times.
I remember hearing all the you know the cake is a lie and blah 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 back in
yeah.
the day, but
This
Yeah.
was a triumph.
Oh, I just got
Yeah.
indigestion. King as a lie memes were bad when they started.
Yeah.
yes they were.
The ending song of Portal 1 is superior to the ending song of Portal 2.
Still alive, right?
Yeah, Still Alive is better than Want You Gone.
Which is actually interesting because
I'm taking notes here.
I'm a
Here's
huge
success.
fan of Mirror's Edge, and the theme for Mirror's Edge is called "Still Alive,"
Oh, really?
but it's a different song.
See, that's
Sure,
the game I've
obviously.
never played through.
Yeah, Jonathan Colton did not write for Mirror's Edge.
No,
I played some of it and the reboot that they did.
I need to go back and
I need to play the reboot.
I've played a little bit of the first one,
wanna play it in
which is
VR.
one of those games where I picked it up, played it for a little bit. This is cool, and then got
Yeah. So I think
into something
I am of the opinion I need to get a Valve Index before Half-Life Alyx comes out.
You should.
What is Valve
Because-
Index?
You were going to anyway.
Yeah, but it's $1,000 and it's hard to
What?
justify dropping $1,000.
What are you talking about?
It's Valve's VR headset.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
And it's the one that where the controllers actually strap to your hands and have full finger tracking. So each individual
That
finger.
is so cool and so
it's-
futuristic.
It's basically like a stick that holds in your hand, but it's got an elastic strap that holds it onto your hand. So you have the sturdy normal stick that you're holding onto, but you can do that, and it just stays. And it tracks your individual fingers.
oh, that's really cool.
That's actually super sick.
That's
I actually have
very
not heard
cool.
too much about that.
Dear Santa,
Yeah, right.
I've told you, man, the one thing that I want, and we'll get there, is
death?
when you actually...
We will get there.
We have the technology.
I will get there. Don't you worry. But I want individual fingers on those controllers that have resistance when you're grabbing things in game. That's going to be when I'll finally feel like we're there, you
Yeah.
know?
When you have
People
that,
are
we'll be in the Oasis then.
people are working on that, but the technology just isn't quite. They haven't really found a good,
that's gotta
elegant
be
way to
so
deal with
hard.
that. Yeah.
it's like
we have
almost
that
like you'd
and-
have to have like some kind of like inflatable thing where like when you grab it, like kind of inflates against your hand or something.
That would
or,
be
like,
so cool.
right? Like
Yeah, but imagine how weird that would look. How weird
Yeah,
it would
I mean,
look
essentially-
as someone who isn't
yeah, just
in that
watching and these
set.
balloons are like popping.
I mean, at a certain
fuck is
point,
going on here?
you reach impracticality for home use, right? Because you have to
go
have
somewhere.
pneumatics, right, set up in order to have that set up. So
Yeah.
you need to, have, as part of your VR headset, have an air compressor, right? So
It depends on where we go with the technology. Depends on where we go with the We have to scream over it. It's open the whole time.
Yeah, I like to wind down by playing video games after work.
I like that they added this backtrack to every game that sounds like my dad's garage.
yeah.
Time to play Red Dead Redemption 5. Get on the horse.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's great.
That is amazing.
Well, that was a fun tangent. Now you guys ready to talk about Baby Yoda?
No, I'm just gonna say Mandalorian's still fucking awesome.
It's fantastic.
And they have ordered a second season.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Cool.
As
Fantastic.
is becomes the
Then
norm
I'll
with
wait
all
till that
new.
second season when I start my free trial.
It has made me care about Star Wars again.
It's so good.
A lot of the things that I read this week about it were talking about a lot of people are with that opinion of like this is better than any of the stuff that Disney did.
Yep.
And that it feels more like Star Wars, and that's why I'm interested in it. Skeptical for a while, but with the episode length and that adorable Baby Yoda.
It's great storytelling.
There will
I
be
don't
merch.
want kids, as we have all talked about before.
Yeah.
But God, I want to just protect the shit out of this Baby Yoda.
Yeah, right.
I want it to live.
The memes alone are fantastic.
They're so good.
Like that Dragon Ball Z meme that I posted this week, where it's
And-
just a line from it, and it was this is a perfect
Yeah.
setup.
No spoilers in this statement, but episode 3 is basically Star Wars starring John Wick.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
John Wick is Baby Yoda.
episode 3, Return of the Wick. I'm sorry, Revenge of the Wick.
Revenge of the Wick.
Revenge of the Wick.
That's
It's they have done an amazing job with this.
one of the things that I came into this series like being a little worried about, and it also had me. It was the reason why I knew I was going to hate the new Lion King, is because when you don't have that facial emote ability, like the main character of the movie not being able to emote to the audience, there's a little bit of a loss of empathy, and I feel like it's really, really difficult to have a story that's driven by a character in a movie or a TV show or what have you that doesn't have facial expressions because you can't really identify with it. And I was wondering how that was going to go.
I feel like they've done an amazing
They've done
job
incredible. The way everything just works perfectly.
Like I said last week, chapter 2, the first 10 minutes of the episode, there's no dialogue.
No spoilers.
I talked about it last week. You already know this.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's crazy how well this has come across, and I fucking love it so much. It's so good. Everything about it.
Really wonderfully shot.
And I'm also really happy that we're talking about it because I watched the podcast and I was like, fuck, I wanted to talk about all of these things last week. Like every single one. Like, okay, they haven't talked about Disney Plus yet.
That's what you get
Hey,
for
Dan,
having
you want to get
Thanksgiving
drunk and
on the
watch The
podcast.
Mandalorian?
I was like, oh, okay, they've got Mandalorian. They're talking about Star, but okay, they haven't talked about Disney Plus yet.
We'll
And I think in the
have
last 20
Mandalorian.
minutes, you guys started talking about, like, no!
See, Tyler, I think something that would also help you deal better with these lack of facial expressions is you have to become completely lacking in empathy like me so that you can ruthlessly criticize every single thing that you see.
I will learn from you, my master.
You have
Yeah,
to
I
die
mean-
more.
He has less emotive capabilities, facial emotive capabilities than Carl Urban did in Judge Dredd.
Yeah, because
At least Carl
Urban
Urban had the mouth. Yeah.
He could.
There's no chin. The chin makes the
The
man.
chid. I can
Here
make
comes the crimson chin.
I could make you cry with a chid.
It sounds
Oh
like
God,
a threat.
Crimson Chin. Fucking Fairly Odd Parents. Butch Hartman's a piece of shit.
I like the cartoon. I know
Cartoon's
nothing.
great.
I know nothing about the person.
He's
Yeah, I'm not a Butch Hartman fan.
problematic.
Would Baby Yoda
Well, he's not. I wouldn't
be a
say
fan?
he's problematic. He's a fundamentalist, like a crazy fundamentalist. He tried to kickstart a platform that was just completely clean, and it seemed like super misguided the way that it's one of the cringiest thing. The pitch video for it is one of the cringiest things I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
He is super funny, and I mean, realistically, I guess that's the type of person you want making content for your kids. But
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a right person and a wrong person to do that. I mean, the gold standard being Mr. Rogers, you know.
yeah.
But
Just still need to see that movie.
yeah.
Did you hear that Tom Hanks learned that he is related to Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, like six
What?
cousins.
Yeah,
No.
and he didn't know that before taking on the role in Would You Be My Neighbor?
I mean, it makes
he do
sense
a
because Tom
23andMe?
Hanks, Tom Hanks,
Yeah, right.
and Mr. Rogers are both national treasures.
Yes,
Very wholesome.
Absolutely.
very wholesome and nice people.
I'm so dreading the day that, like we have had so many Hollywood actors fall down into the sadness and anger, just like
Newsflash.
one
Tom
of these
Hanks,
days we're gonna find out that Tom Hanks.
Newsflash. Tom Hanks was slightly rude to a waiter.
Oh fuck, man!
Canceled. Tom Hanks was canceled.
Newsflash: Tom Hanks forgot to say thank you after receiving a gift. How dare you, Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks only tipped 20%. Oh man.
What else happened this week?
Well, we've covered all the important things.
No, there's one thing that I'm very excited.
Go
for.
on.
Doctor Who season 12 trailer dropped.
I saw that was coming.
I'm very excited.
I still need to catch up. Like, I think I only watched the first episode with the new Doctor, so I
More
am
like Dr. Oof,
way behind.
am I right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, brother.
I originally had planned, as you know, and are disappointed by, that I was going to watch every episode last season and go through and write a review of every episode. I got 2 episodes in and then got depressed.
Depression is real.
Depression sucks. But I just a little quick run through of what my thoughts on that last season were. Jodie Whittaker's amazing as the Doctor. The companions are very interesting. Chris Chibnall needs to fucking step it up and be a better writer, because there was not a lot of great storylines in that series. But in terms of actors and the companions and everything, it was really good. I loved the step up in production. It was a really pretty show, and there were some very good episodes. I'm excited to see what happens in season 12, and the stuff that
So-
we've seen in that trailer are interesting. We're getting some Cybermen back, so that's cool.
Chris
I love the
Chibnall is
Cybermen.
the showrunner right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, I as much as I have respect for, villains of Doctor Who past, I'm so worn out of the Daleks being like the ultimate, bad guy for the Doctor, and like to me the
They're
best
just kinky trash cans.
Yeah, right. to me, the best villain that the Doctor has had, aside from the Master, has been the Silence.
The Silence was so good. I don't understand why people don't like that season.
I love the
The silence.
Yes. God damn both of you. Oh, you didn't even do it.
I love mind bending enemies. Like
Oh, that make you question your sanity and shit.
Right.
Like that. Oh, you see, okay, you're a mind flare guy.
yeah, like I love that kind of shit where like the second you're not looking at them, you immediately forget that you ever saw them.
Such a fucking cool
And that's such a great concept. And
Medics are cool.
the same sort of idea as with the Weeping Angels, where the second you're not looking at them is when they can move. But as long as you're looking at them, they can't move. I love those kinds of, it's like, look, the second you're vulnerable, this thing is able to do its thing. And it's just like, ugh,
It's a good horror movie villain. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's the entire basis that Freddy Krueger was built off of, is the whole vulnerability of being asleep.
Yeah.
And
Frederick Kroger.
yeah. Throwback.
Return to the Kroger.
Well, it's just like so talking about things that you forget the moment you're not looking at them. It was a really cool idea in a very early SCP article when they were toying with the ideas of what like anti-memetics were supposed to be about. And there is a thing that whatever it is, you'll immediately forget it. That's its thing. So nobody knows what it looks like. And the entire article is about them discovering they can remember what it is if they remember what it isn't.
Huh.
I like that.
I like that.
Like, what do you mean in SCP-17? No, you remember it's that thing that's not round. Oh, that thing.
Huh.
That's kinda cool.
Whenever you give it qualities that it actually pertains to, you immediately forget them.
I love
like
That's
even its numerical
super
designation, they had to do it by saying what it isn't and identifying it as things that it's not. That was
That
the
is
only way.
super fucking cool.
Yeah, SCP's rad.
SCP
I
is
love that
fucking
kind of
rad.
shit. Because that shit, like, all that kind of mindfuckery has its roots in, Lovecraftian mythos. In the whole, like, it's why I hate Lovecraft. I love Lovecraft's mythos.
Yeah, Lovecraft was a weird racist.
Yeah,
Oh, I found a no. It
His
wasn't
cat was named the N-word. Yeah.
he referred to his wife as a Jewess.
Fillet me, Jewess.
Oh God!
Jesus.
Podcast canceled.
But the concept of something that your brain is not made in order to comprehend its existence because it's an extra dimensional being.
Kind of like Stadi-yeah.
Full circle, baby.
There it is. Okay, that's a podcast, everybody.
Yeah.
That kind of fuckery is just so cool to me.
Cool. It's terrifying.
Anything that leans hard on the potential weaknesses of your own mind, where you can't do anything to compensate for that. It's just a weakness of your own mind. By struggling to try and comprehend what you're seeing, you're
making it worse.
actively driving yourself insane.
Yep.
So y'all excited then for the Color from Space coming out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much
Yeah.
so. Very much so.
Nicolas
I'll
Cage.
be scared. I'll
Yeah.
be terrified, but I'll watch
Nick
it.
Cage, who is also apparently going to be in a meta film as
Yes.
himself.
Yep.
Are we going to get a being John Malkovich, but it's being Nick Cage?
Yes.
I would love them to just remake that movie, and all they do is replace John Malkovich with Nick Cage. It's the exact same movie, but
It'd be hilarious.
That'd be fantastic. And you just replace John Malkovich's characteristics with Nick Cage being Nick Cage. Like, that'd be great.
I want to see them do a shot-for-shot remake of Luke Cage with Nick Cage.
racist.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's a little racist. That's some whitewashing.
No, every character is Nick Cage. And it's not
Even Jessica Jones.
Yeah, and it would be called Nick Cage, not Luke Cage.
That would make Danny a lot better of a character. I'm not gonna lie. Iron Fist.
So,
Terrible.
The immortal Iron Fist.
I am finally all caught up on Watchmen.
So am I.
And holy shit, they're doing a very good job with that series.
As much as I love Mandalorian right now, Watchmen's my favorite show that I'm watching at this moment. It is that last episode, the last 2 episodes.
So it doesn't hold
Yep.
a Candelorian to it, huh?
Shut up.
I'm
Get the
leaving.
fuck out.
Everyone who has not watched Watchmen, god damn you, needs to watch it because it's
Already done.
fucking incredible. It's so good.
Yeah.
And comic book fans are going to love it too because it brings in some things that they didn't show in the movie.
Yeah. It is great. I've been really, really enjoying the Jeremy Irons parts. Just the way that they reference the original material and the aftermath of shit that went down.
Yeah.
Is fucking rad.
That flashback and then the whole episode
Yes.
that's built around Looking Glass just...
Yeah. Absolutely great. Highly recommend it. Watch The Watchmen.
Yes.
But who watches The Watchmen?
I've made
We
that
do.
joke like 20 times.
What else we got going on here?
Dan, what do you have anything?
Literally nothing interesting happened into or around me this entire week.
So
I worked. That's it.
Tesla announced the Cybertruck.
The boxcar.
The Laura Croft vehicle.
Well, I think it's actually perfect, and it had to have been done intentionally because it's November 2019 when Blade Runner takes place in November 2019, and it looks like a fucking Blade Runner car.
And he likes to shitpost.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. It just looks. I can't wait to see what the high res version of that car would be.
It's actually still buffering.
It's right now. It's at N64.
Well,
Honestly,
they've been taking photos from really far away, and the render distance is set to low.
Actually, all of the pictures have been taken from space, from SpaceX, the rocket. So
and for any part on the truck you're not focused on, there's just mist everywhere else.
Honestly, though, I don't give a fuck what it looks like if it needs to be shaped like a goddamn triangle in order to be efficient and whatever.
Yeah,
fucking do it, man.
I would drive the hell out of a car like that.
I think it looks great, and the price point is insane. They're
only
coming
80,000, right?
No,
All those sexy flat surfaces.
41,000.
What?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I
There's
hope
three
there's
tiers.
some optional flamethrower installments.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah,
There's-
there's flamethrower. You got a weed holder.
There's 3 tiers, and I don't think it gets higher than $50,000.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
has,
a sculpture of him actually holding it. They put it between his fingers. It's like your hula girl, but instead it's a sculpture of him.
I have a hula girl in my car.
They have already received 180 something thousand pre-orders.
Yeah, I saw that, which was surprising based on the
I
unveil.
can't wait to see masculinity stripped away from trucks forever.
Regardless of what you think of the product and how it looks great. I mean, the specs around it are great. It doesn't look amazing, but the guy getting on stage and chucking the rock and his just massive disappointment when it shatters the glass and he's just like, let's try it again. And it breaks again.
Yeah. Well, so the guy who was throwing the rock is like lead engineer. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you hear Elon go, because he was about to go and throw it at the back window. And Elon goes, do you think we should do it again? And he was like, yeah. So Elon is asking him, should we do it again? He was not like just some, big strongman actor on stage or
Right.
anything like that.
Some fucking Major League Baseball pitcher.
Yeah, right. But I honestly got to say, Elon handled that publicly very well. He didn't go, oh shit, or anything like that. He didn't freak out. He was just like, obviously, we're going to have to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct. That's
You
what
are
you
right.
have to do.
Right.
there
they
you
did-
go.
A less
a
cool
video-
Howard Stark.
A video surfaced afterwards.
Yeah, where
that
they were
showed
showing
they
it-
were testing it, and it totally did handle the rock being thrown at it. So
And I think it's worth mentioning a lot of the headlines have been like, they just said that it was bulletproof and then they broke the windows. No, what they said was that the body is bulletproof.
Not the windows.
They didn't say the glass was bulletproof. The body is fucking steel.
And in the dystopian future that we will soon live in, we will all need bulletproof cars to go
Yeah,
outside.
right.
yes.
Yeah, because it'll rain lead.
Look, you truck
Those are called
owners
Death Stranding.
who buy trucks to haul nothing don't need bulletproof glass.
Correct.
Yeah.
I have my F-350, but I work an office job.
I work an office job, but I feel like getting on everyone's ass that's driving a car smaller than mine because I got a problem.
But yeah, that was the thing is the base level comes in under Ford F-150.
That is insane, and it's also it's fully electric and everything.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Oh my
700 mile range, I think.
Future.
that is
Future.
sick.
I can't wait to buy some low res truck nuts.
Just a couple cubes.
Truck. And then a fucking bumper sticker on the back that says "Silly humans, trucks are for Martians."
A Facebook friend of mine pre-ordered one, and his plan is to get the just put Halo stuff on it.
Oh, the
Yes.
Warthog.
Oh, the
Throw the
Warthog,
Warthog.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's honestly the first thing I thought when it
Yeah.
showed up. I was like, oh my god, it's the Halo one.
I mean, when the bed is open, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I saw a lot of footage from inside the cockpit, and it looks like super spacious. It's a 6-seater, plus it has the bed of the truck.
The fact that we're calling a truck's interior a cockpit is kind of
Well, I mean, cars have cockpits too.
If you take the bed out and install a Gauss cannon, but actually make it a T-shirt cannon, and you fire it at people on the road,
That'd be sick. Oh, hell
and you
yeah.
replace the horn with an air horn.
The fact that we're getting this turned up about a truck really says something about this.
the Topless Robot T-shirt cannon coming soon to a truck near you.
Yeah, I want the topless robot mortar, the topless robot trebuchet, and more importantly, the topless robot tactical nuclear weapon. Tactical nuclear t-shirt weapon.
But yeah, I honestly could give a fuck less what it looks like. It looks like innovation to me. It looks like progress to me. And I think that's fucking rad.
Yeah.
And if that means it's going to look like a fucking boxy PlayStation 1 car, then so be it.
We can all
I don't
play
really give a
Twisted
shit.
Metal in the future.
Yeah, right. I think it's really cool. The headlights are a bar across the front. The taillights are a bar across the back. It's all LED. And of course, it's going to have, all the creature comforts of a Tesla. The internals of Tesla, like those are super comfortable to drive. They're very powerful vehicles.
Play Doom while on the road.
They have seats and steering wheels.
And when they said, "Oh, we built an ATV too," and someone pulls out in an ATV that's made of the same material, so it's the same steel body, and then he opens up the truck, the back of the truck, and pulls out a ramp to and drives the ATV into the back of the truck. And
What? You mean
That's
putting things in a
fucking
truck
cool.
that people could actually use?
Not only that, not only does he secure it into the back of the truck, he plugs it into the truck because it's an electric ATV, and it charges off of the truck.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
that is cool.
That's
It's
exciting.
smart stuff.
It's about goddamn time.
Yeah, for real. Stuff.
I mean, it's definitely a product built by an engineer. Like it fixes a lot of issues that we have. It doesn't look amazing, but that's
Right.
what you're getting. You're getting
I
a
can't
product
wait for
built
people
by
to
an
write
engineer.
country songs about their fucking Tesla truck.
Please.
Plug her in, load her out.
What's the fucking
driving's all
But the entire music video, like animated and rendered like it's a PS1 game.
what's the fucking future
fucking
the
big
Futurama
rigs.
song? You can eat my wife, you can eat my truck, but you eat my flag and you're out of luck. It's waving free along land from Dallas to Fort Worth. I'll say it again, honk honk, don't mess with Earth.
Yep.
Is that a Phenomenon song?
No, it's from Futurama. The episode where Zoidberg eats the Earth flag.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But we have gotten to the end of the podcast.
Oh
My God, of the podcast.
What games have you gentlefolk been playing?
Life. No,
Life plays you.
I actually didn't play a single video game this week.
I did.
Brooks, you came at me a little too hard there.
Sorry about
Didn't need you to dial it down to about a 1.
Take about 10-15% off the top there.
A little bit more, a little less.
Seriously though, what have you guys been playing?
I played lots of Pokemon.
Oh,
I got
sure.
Pokemon Sword. I've
Yeah.
been playing a whole bunch of it.
Oh yeah.
I'm very much loving it. I don't care what the internet tells me. The internet's wrong.
The internet's usually wrong.
It's a
Internet's
very
wrong.
good game. It's very pretty. It's Pokemon, but I'm playing it on my big screen, and it looks like I'm playing it on my big screen. I'm like, let's go Eevee and Pikachu, which felt more like I got a handheld game that I'm playing on the big screen. Like
Sure.
this feels like a console.
Well,
Pokemon.
how much of that do you think was because they were
They were trying
recreating
to.
a game that you had already
No,
played?
yeah. I mean, that's part of it, but I feel like it's got the cinematography of Sword and Shield.
They definitely
is-
got more cinematic with things, and
everyone is making. I don't understand why everyone's making fun of the animations. I mean, there's some parts that are a little rough, but like, I feel like the animations look really good. The facial expressions are fun. The Pokemon look amazing, and oh man, God, the Dynamax stuff is. I know it's essentially very similar to what they've introduced in X, Y, Moon, and Sun, but it looks cool. It's cinematic, giant fucking Pokemon. It's fun. It's fun.
yeah, I
It's a
got
fun Pokemon.
I got fucking smeared my first Dynamax fight, and my NPC teammates had to beat
I
the
did too.
Dynamax.
I had the same issue. My Pokemon died first. I'm like, well, good luck, guys.
Yeah,
I'm loving it though. I played a whole bunch of it.
yeah,
And
I've been enjoying it as well.
This is the first Pokemon game that it hasn't felt like grinding to me, which is something I really like. Where like I'm enjoying walking around and finding stuff. Like I have all my Pokemon too high of a level for the badge that I'm going for.
Yeah.
Or on the edge. I was like, oh, I gotta stop grinding because I can't use you in the battle if I'm
stop
going
responding.
to. They're
Yeah.
gonna stop
Yeah.
responding. And I've just the wild is fun, and just going around and exploring is interesting to me again.
Yeah, I've enjoyed what I've played of it, but there's been so much shit coming out that I have not played it since the week of release.
Yeah, my sacrifice has been that I haven't played Fallen Order yet.
Yeah. How about
Who
you,
are
Brooks?
you?
Well, I didn't play any video games this week because it's been a wild and crazy week. But instead of playing video games, I use my free time to learn how to play bass more.
Oh,
So now I can play in the year 2525.
well, you were playing video games.
I studied the bass. Yeah, I mean, apart from that, I did watch Dolomite Is My Name for five times now.
I've
Damn.
heard very good things
heard
about it,
good
but I've
stuff,
also heard that it's. I've heard I'm going to sound so shitty. Black friends of mine on Facebook have been posting that it's not necessarily great.
I mean, it's kind of a blaxploitation film, isn't it? Like,
Well, no. So
blaxploitation from the new
Dolomite was a
age.
blaxploitation
Yeah.
film, but they have problems with the way that this story is being told. And I wish I could remember the finer details of it off the top of my head. But
I found it particularly inspiring as a weirdo creative type, like Rudy Ray Moore. And just overall, it's I think the movie itself is a lot of fun. It makes the original film look better. somehow because Dolomite's pretty rough. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I imagine.
But like the movie in and of itself, though, solid in my opinion. Good
I've heard that it's a
soundtrack.
real good comeback for Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I totally forgot Eddie Murphy's.
I was reading an interview with him about him kind of chilling out for a while because he was turning into an asshole. His words.
Sure.
And this was a nice comeback for him because it was like I was like Eddie Murphy is swearing a bunch and being Eddie Murphy because like Eddie Murphy drew in his early career drew inspiration from Rudy Ray Moore and a lot of other people did. Rudy Ray Moore was considered the godfather of hip hop because his rhyming style that he did was blah blah blah. I'm not gonna tell you any more about it because you should just go watch the fucking movie.
Sure.
Is it on Netflix?
It is
It's
on
a Netflix original, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will gladly watch it again and again and again and again and again and again. And I also watched Overlord this week too. I've been waiting.
Overlord's
to
good.
Watch that.
Overlord's really
I
good.
had no idea. Number one, that Kurt Russell had a son with Goldie Hawn, and that he was in Overlord, and that I would like him as much as I like his dad because he's like if you took that like cocksure kind of smart ass attitude out of anything Kurt Russell ever does, and he's just like a slightly more intense Kurt Russell. Like I would pick that guy to play Solid Snake.
Ooh,
I'd pick that guy to play Solid
I'll have to
Snake.
check that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Metal Gear.
How about you, Dan?
After enough badgering from my friends, I finally decided to play Monster Hunter World
Oh yeah.
because they want me to be into it by the time that big Iceborne DLC comes out because they're all super stoked on it. I mean, they got to endgame long time ago,
Sure.
and of course, the first thing I did is I picked up the biggest, most technical weapon I could find in the game, and I was like, "Nope, this is it. This is my commitment. Like, this is what I'm doing." You know,
is my burden.
yeah.
Your cross. Is it a cross?
It is both a sword and shield that also turns into an axe.
A sweel axe.
But it has a mechanic that you can charge individual parts of it. Like you can charge the shield, charge the sword, and charge everything else. So there's a lot to it. It's a lot of fun. Although I'm not as big into the game as I'd hoped I would be.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm really spoiled by a lot of the quicker action games that I enjoy more.
Yeah.
I'm big into like Bloodborne and
SimCity
Devil May Cry.
2000.
There's a whole lot of tracking and town nonsense in the Monster Hunter series.
Monster Hunter is very slow.
But I've always been intrigued by that universe, and it's always looked gorgeous and looked very interesting. Their monster designs are really cool, and I've always loved larger than life battles where whatever you're fighting is just way bigger than you.
Like giant enemy crabs.
There was
Like in the Painkiller games, all the bosses are like fucking several stories high, and those kinds of battles have always, gotten me going. And but I never. Like, I have Monster Hunter World. I'll play with you.
yeah, dude. It's
but-
you can go on like free roaming expeditions, and so I would say as much as I'm starting to enjoy it, it takes a lot of investment, and I would not enjoy it if I was playing it alone.
Yeah.
Playing it with my friends is what's made it fun because it's hilarious to watch your friend get slapped across the arena by something that's 10 times their size.
Yeah.
But you can go on free roaming expeditions instead of going on targeted hunts. Because when you're grinding for a certain thing, you have to kill it over and over and over again to help you get the right parts.
Yeah.
And one of them is this really cool like cross between a flying squirrel and a snake. And it's got lightning charged abilities. So it's quadrupedal, but it has scales, and it just free wanders around these treetops. And they're not all the creatures are immediately hostile when you encounter them. So I'm running around trying to find it. And I walk around the corner at the same time as it walks around the corner, and I'm just face to face with these red eyes, and it casually just walks right by you. But I was just like, oh, for fuck!
Oh man, I love that.
That's fantastic.
But it is a cool game. I've gotten through a decent amount of it so far. There is some bad fights though. There's some of the story fights are fucking dumb, but for the most part, it's really cool.
I don't have the patience for that game, unfortunately, as much as I want to.
One of the best things is that if you're fighting a big monster and another one shows up, they can start a turf war with each other.
Oh, hell yeah.
And you'll watch one of them pick the other one up in its mouth and just slam it against the ground like 10
That's
times and
pretty
toss it
sick.
across the arena. It's really cool. And there's one monster that I can't remember. I think it's called Devil Joe, but it doesn't have a set spawn point. It invades your game, and it's just this creature that will fight anything. Even if it's 30 times stronger than it will show up and it will just try and fight
Huh.
it. And
That's
it's an
kinda cool.
asshole creature. Like
There's
Devil Joe.
seriously, I wish that the pacing were better in that series in general, because I would be 100% on board.
Seems like a game that would be really fun to jump into the end game right away. And
Oh god.
World, from what I've been told by my friends who've been playing a lot of other Monster Hunter games in their life, this is my first one.
Yeah.
They say it's a good one to start with.
okay.
That's what I've heard as well. I've heard that there it's probably the biggest change in the series was World.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter. I've never visited any of those games myself.
But I know that game is one that like single-handedly when they released it on the Vita, it was the major thing that kept the Vita afloat in Japan.
One of my friends shouted at me for years to get the Vita. He's like, I just want someone to fucking play Monster Hunter with me.
Yeah.
It's like, not gonna do it. Sorry, I'm not buying the Vita just for one game. Like, I'm
Because
not gonna.
it was a big deal because Monster Hunter had historically only come out on Nintendo systems,
Right.
And so they jumped ship to Vita, and it was essentially the thing that kept the Vita afloat in Japan.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure Brent had a Vita. I never did. I wanted one for a while, but then the ship kind of sailed for me.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, let's play sometime. I'll watch you get beaten to death.
Inagata to
I'd be
Vita.
down.
I'll try it with you guys if you want.
I would like to play with friends.
You gotta have a
'cause I've
squad. It's
never-
not fun if you're just playing in silence. Not for me. Like,
Yeah.
I would rather just play a single player ARPG instead if I'm gonna play alone.
Yeah.
But playing with your friends is the appeal for me. That's it.
Sure. Cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Well, on that note, thank you everyone for watching and or listening. We'll see you oh wait, something that we didn't Oh God.
I was ready.
It's Thanksgiving week.
Oh yeah,
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Fist fight your uncle.
yeah. Fist fight your uncle and be nice to people.
It is your job to challenge your elders' perspectives and points of view, and not excuse them because they come from a different era.
But don't
I agree.
mean because it is Thanksgiving. You might ruin football.
Whatever, dude.
You don't
Chug
get
a
a-
bottle of whiskey. Fight your family. Fight the family dog. Fight the turkey.
Hashtag doom the boom.
You don't get a pass on being a racist just because it was okay when you were 10.
Yeah.
I agree with that. My grandma's not racist.
But
My grandpa is.
to all of our viewers and listeners who celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving. Start a fight with your family, or don't. Hopefully, you have a family like mine, where you can all just kind of eat and enjoy each other's company and play music.
And
Yeah.
even if you don't celebrate it, just like hopefully you have the day off. Enjoy
Yeah.
your day off.
Yeah, for real. And try not to get too crazy on Black Friday.
Don't go shopping on Black Friday because capitalism.
It's
Fuck you.
exploitive.
Yup.
And on that note, thank you for watching and or listening. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm taking off today at 3. Sometimes you have to sit if you want to make a stand. Hate the shit, taking liberties. Taking liberties.
Luke, it says I'm locked out of my account again.
She's fun.